Hi guys, welcome back to the Watch Mission. Today we're going to review a watch from P.Dube or Pierre Dube and talk about a micro brand or an independent watch. He's kind of a one-man show, so he does everything himself, different modification stuff on the side, to the marketing, to getting things up and running, the website, all that stuff. One guy, and he's a mechanical engineer to boot. So obviously a very busy guy, and obviously has a lot of passion for watchmaking. So truly appreciate that. Happy to have his product here on the channel today for sure. So when I opened this, first obviously I took the box out, and the casing here that it comes with is really nice. Very soft leather on the outside, but definitely a hard case. You are not going to have any problem putting that in there to travel with or anything. So it's really a stellar piece of work here to travel with. Has an extra area here that you can put at least 2 more straps in there if you wanted to. And then I like that it has this extra flap here to make sure the watch is protected. And then that's where you can put your watch. And of course you can use it for your other watches too. I always take at least 2 and then 1 box so that I can switch them in and out of there. But I really like the case. I mean, that is no generic case, right? I mean, he did a really good job there. I love the kind of the gear, and I'm sure that has probably a different meaning to him, or a special meaning to him, because he's a mechanical engineer. But I do like that, and that's also notable on the case back as well when we get to that. So when I took the watch out, I was kind of shocked in a way, because I go through a lot of different watches and a lot of different reviews lately, at least I have been. And so I think I forgot what the specs were on this. So when I opened it, I thought, oh cool, another titanium watch. And I picked it up, and it's a chunk, right? And in a good way. I mean, it's a nice quality, heavy piece of metal. And so I was just kind of beside myself for a minute, thinking, well, why is the titanium this heavy? But of course it's not, right? It's the coated PVD, but it's got that titanium look to it. And with the kind of the sharp angles there of the case, it just kind of speaks industrial design more than like an elegant jewel-like design. And I like that, right? I like that quite a bit. So as we go around the watch here a little bit, you'll see how well it is finished. I'll kind of get up close here, and I've got some pretty good pictures as well that should show you all the details. But it's got the drilled lugs, which, boy, that is always a blessing to have. It's really nice. And this one has the full lume dial. This is the first lume dial I've ever had in hand, so I wasn't real sure what to expect. I've never really liked lume dials too much when I saw them online, but I've never had one, so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. And I'll be honest, I think of all the watches he has, I probably would still pick a solid dial, but I really like this one with the skeleton hands. That makes the difference. Those skeletonized hands, sorry, those skeletonized hands, they look pretty cool when it's loomed up, and I'll throw in a couple of pictures or videos here now. But they are very high quality hands. I do like them a lot. I also like the fact that it's got a flat sapphire crystal, and the AR coating is on the underside, and it does a really good job. So he did mention to me when he sent this that the case back would not necessarily match the case that it's on, and that's fine, right? You can tell here, let me get the right light. It does say prototype on it, and he just hasn't gotten the cases completely coated yet, which is fine. So it will match, so don't worry about that. The crown here as well will be slightly larger in diameter, and maybe even a different finish, or a different grip on there as well. I can't recall exactly what he said, but it is a sign crown, so I do like how he's done that, as well as the case back here. It is really cool, right? Often you see a lot of the case backs that just kind of have I don't know, just too much going on, right? Too much writing, too much of a design, all that stuff. I like the simplicity here, but it's also, and he's got some probably better pictures online here. Yeah, so when you see here, this would be one of the more finished case backs, and that looks really sharp. I like that a lot. That's going to leave a nice little imprint on your skin. Not that it's going to hurt or anything, but it's just going to be kind of cool when you take that off to see there. The case is going to come in 2 different finishes. It's going to be, this is the matte gunmetal, and it's also going to come in a brushed. I'll try to find a couple different shots here. So there's one of the brushed finishes with the green dial. It looks really good. This blue is going to be more of a, I guess I'll say limited edition, for lack of a better word. But you kind of have to get on the ball to get the blue in, because it's really going to be black, green, and this lume dial here as well. I really do like the way that he's mixed up the colors quite a bit. He's put some different straps that you wouldn't necessarily think of right away. They look great though, right? So he's got, you know, the green with the brown, which really stands out very well. That's very well done. And here you got a really good contrast of the, and these are renderings, right? These aren't the exact ones, but you can tell what that's going to look like with the brushed case versus the coated case there. So here's a good example of the difference in kind of the exact same spec. So here, the one that I'm holding is the gunmetal. I keep saying it's coated, sorry about that. It's the gunmetal finish. And then here on the website is the same watch in the brushed finish. So you can kind of tell which one of those you would like better. Well, I have a really hard time picking there. They both look really cool. I do appreciate some of the attention to detail that he's got as well. He's got just a little signature right there on the clasp, that's a nice touch. I really do appreciate that he does stuff like that. A few more details on the specs here. You've got 40 millimeter case width. You've got 12 millimeters thick. Gosh, I actually forget, sorry. So the lug to lug, it's just under 50, so you're like 49 and a half. So it fits perfectly well. I've got a 6.5 inch wrist. I'll throw it on here in a second. But it is basically the same size as the Ferrer. Actually, the Ferrer might be a 39, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll throw it on here in just a second. And for the dial that's all lumed, that is going to be BGW9 lume for the full dial. And then you're going to have C3 grade lume on the other ones for the hands and in the indices where those are lumed. For the movement, it is a Miyota 9 series, the 9039 automatic movement. It does hack and it beats at 28,800 per hour. So it is nice and smooth. Even in the slow motion shots, you can see how smooth the ticking is there. When you go to his Instagram, you'll see some of the, I don't know, I guess more studio type pictures, and I'll put mine in here as well. But again, you can see the contrast between some of the gunmetal versus the brushed, the different dials that he has, and how the hands do match the case. So if you're to get a little bit closer up, you will see that the color of the hands, even though this is loomed here, but the color of the hands is going to be gunmetal on this one, and on, well, that one's skeletoned. But here, I guess this is the best representation. So here you'll have the brushed case, and the outside of those hands are going to be brushed as well, and then this one would be gunmetal, and those are going to be skeletonized. So I'll put up a few different shots of the lume dial here, which is very impressive. It's next to the Shorum, and the Shorum, which is about the same as the Zelos, are my two brightest watches, and this one goes right up against it with no problem. In fact, it's because it's an entire dial, it kind of takes over versus the Shorum. So you can go in for pre-order now. The Titan is at $649. And if you put in Watch Mission 15, that would be good for 15% off of the order. So that's a pretty good savings there. And I'll go ahead and throw it on my wrist here real quick. So on the 6.5-inch wrist, it's, wears great. It's got, the tapered down lugs there a little bit, so that kind of ends up hugging the wrist. I wore this the past few days in a row. Great watch. I loved wearing it. Very legible. Lume held on for quite some time. And I encourage you to go take a look at his website, take a look at his Instagram. He's got some really good pictures on there as well. And again, just put in Watch Mission 15 and you'll get 15% off the order. Thanks guys, bye.